Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome back to Nerdrotic. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from Nerdrotic.com, and we need to talk about the Access Media as it relates to Captain Marvel. We need to talk a little bit about the timeline leading up and during the release of Captain Marvel and how this made Disney blink. Now, why did they blink? Because of you, because of the fans. Now, some YouTubers might have had something to do with it, so I'll lump them in too, but this is mainly fan reaction causing Disney to blink and exposing it for being way too powerful. Now, if you've listened to this channel for a long time, you know I have been completely against the Fox Disney merger. I was against them buying Marvel, and I was against them buying Star Wars because I am not anti-corporate. I don't want to be confused as some kind of socialist, anti-capitalist, anti-corporation. I'm not. A corporation is simply doing what it's doing. It's a big megalodon shark doing what a big megalodon shark does, but they are necessary in this world. They employ people and they entertain people, and I have certainly enjoyed a lot of what Disney has put out. But the events of the recent week have, at least made me raise an eyebrow. And I'm sure many of you out there too. Many of these things that I'm going to lay out, and I'm doing this off the cuff, so please forgive me. I was not planning on doing this video today. And many of the things that happened over the last week and a half by themselves, whatever, fine. But put together, this is going to be a problem from here on out for those of us who like to speak truth to power. And you might find that even if you're on the other side of this argument, you really want to be able to do that in the future, just in case it's something you don't like what's going on and you want to speak truth to it and you get shut down, because that's what's been going on. Fans' voices have been silenced. And again, off the top of my head, I'm going to go over some of the events that led up to Captain Marvel and during its release. So many of us started talking about the movie. Now, there are many channels who were talking about the movie before, but I'm going to say a lot of us who started 2 weeks, a week before the release, because we just kind of wanted to wait, started noticing some weird stuff with our channels. You know, if you're giving consistent entertainment, consistent content, your channel should perform pretty much, the same. Sometimes you get hot, sometimes you don't. Sometimes videos take, sometimes they don't. But I've rarely seen a video on my channel that does, pretty much like all the other videos did for the first day and then just completely stop. And then all of a sudden trolls started showing up on my channel where they never have before. Maybe this is over Captain Marvel. I don't know. By itself, it's not that big of a deal. Then Midnight's Edge did a live stream where they were reviewing Captain Marvel. Andre was reviewing Captain Marvel. He got to see it a day early, I think on the 6th, because he was in Europe. And during the live stream, right when he got to the spoiler and political portion of the live stream, this is an amazing coincidence, it got a copyright strike from some charity that was loosely related to Disney. We're not really sure. You'll have to talk to Andre or Tom to get the details on this. But Tom made me aware of it. And, again, by itself, all right, amazing coincidence. But then we had the Rotten Tomatoes thing, which each event makes it less of a coincidence, in my opinion. Rotten Tomatoes, of course, shut down The Indicator. Now, I will freely admit that some of us YouTubers might have stirred up some passions and gotten some people to go over there and leave an opinion on whether they wanted to see the movie or not, which they had every right to do because that's what the tool was there for. But I did a couple videos and many others did too, and we read some of those comments, and none of them that I read were sexist. They might have been salty, but they weren't sexist, and none of them were filled with profanity. None of them should have been removed. And, these keep getting cited by all these news articles by the show media, and they keep repeating the same 3 because there was only 19 comments at the time. There might have been double that before they shut everything down, but it wasn't thousands of comments. There were thousands of votes, whether people were interested or not interested, but actual comments, there wasn't that much. It wasn't worth a major website owned by a major corporation changing their rules. And they admitted a couple days ago in the New York Times, because this has made the New York Times, which again gives me pause. They cited those same comments again, and Rotten Tomatoes admitted to changing the rules. I suspected the Access Media would fall in line and kneel to Disney, but it was a bit astonishing to see the New York Times chiming in on this and to see how much submission there actually was from the Access Media. So we had that. So we had the shutting down of Midnight's Edge. We had weird stuff going on with YouTube. We had Rotten Tomatoes changing its rules. And then we had YouTube changing its algorithm for Captain Marvel. This is over a mediocre to really bad movie. I think it's really bad, but I think the majority of people think it's just meh. And some, it's just in the middle, but it's a very mediocre film, not worth getting talked about this much. And yes, we are playing right into Disney's hands. But the thing is, us YouTubers might have whooped some people up, but there was people, kind of riled up anyway. And this made Disney blink. And in the process of blinking, they exposed themselves for being way too powerful. And this is prior to the Fox Disney deal actually being confirmed. I really wish it could be stopped at this point because I don't want them owning Fox. There's questions about this that I haven't heard answer yet. I mean, are they getting the network? How can one company own two broadcast networks? That's weird. But them flexing their muscles against a bunch of little YouTubers with people, sitting in rooms surrounded by action figures. And believe me, we take shots every day just from regular folks. Our comment sections have been very salty lately and very entertaining, actually. I think me and Mrs. Nerdrotic have been getting quite a laugh. But Anna, that Star Wars girl, got some pretty hideous ones. Jeremy does, but we can take it. That's part of the game. But we have other YouTube channels taking aim at us. We see actors and actresses getting weaponized against us, broadly generalizing us as trolls when we are simply people who don't like the film. Because I don't have a problem with the female lead in Captain Marvel. Them controlling so much is going to screw up so much entertainment. We are already starting to see it. I've been trying to lay out to many people that what happened to Marvel Comics is what will happen to the MCU. They are absolutely no different. One is just much smaller than the other, and it will be a disaster on a much larger scale with the MCU, and we're already seeing it. Kevin Feige has come out and said we are going in this direction. Now, again, I have no problem with diversity and inclusivity, but when they use those words, what they really mean is they're going to start putting in more partisan political propaganda. And you see the resistance with the Access Media and Disney and a lot of other companies to some of us who just want to bring stuff back into the middle, to bring back neutrality. Now, again, this was off the cuff, but when you put it all into one place and you see it, it's pretty extraordinary. YouTube changing an algorithm, Rotten Tomatoes changing its rules, the Access Media completely falling in line and kneeling to Disney. Actors, actresses coming out defending Disney, even ones from a competing film. Bottom line, Disney will be controlling a large portion of the information you and I get. And as we've seen in the MCU, they have started retconning the truth through the Access Media. I give the example of Wonder Woman. Captain Marvel is starting to get all the accolades that Wonder Woman received when it came out. And now the Access Media is pretending Wonder Woman didn't exist. Please like, share, and subscribe. That's very important for the channel. And honestly, whether you like the movie or not, please consider that when we support Disney, what are we supporting here? You might agree with them now, but what about the time you don't agree with them? And that's why it is good to have dissent. We need it. The world needs heretics. Take care.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.